Are you ready?
Do you see how much stuff's in this book?
I know it. This is the thickest I've ever seen. Good afternoon, everybody. I'll call this recommending committee meeting of January 2nd to order. Are we in compliance with the open meeting law?
Yes.
This meeting has been posted in various locations throughout the city. Moving to item number 3, which is bill number 2006-70. It amends the legal description and map describing and depicting the boundaries of the pedestrian mall to reflect certain street vacation actions. Proposed by Bradford R. Jervik, City Attorney. Do we have staff?
Yes, I will present this. This bill would amend the 2 chapters of our code that pertain to the pedestrian mall to kind of clean up the legal description. There have been some vacation actions that have taken place over the years, and so this will replace the legal description to reflect those. If you'll note, in Section 4 of the bill, it authorizes and directs the clerk to fill in the number of the ordinance. You'll see on the first page there are blanks there because we don't know what number this ordinance will bear. So it authorizes the clerk's office to fill that in. I would like to ask for an amendment to this bill. We would add a new Section 5 that would kind of do the same thing for the codifier. There may be places in our code where reference to the pedestrian mall is to the previous ordinances, and we would put in a provision here that directs the codifier to reflect the correct ordinance number once this is adopted. And with that, would recommend approval.
Does anybody in the audience wish to speak to this issue? You can use that right there. It's closer.
Hi, Tom McGowan, Las Vegas resident. Happy New Year. I assume that this pedestrian mall is also known as the Fremont Street Experience. Is that correct?
I don't know if they're synonymous. All I know is that
it could be related to the Fremont Street Experience.
Could be.
Or other malls. It's important to preserve public mass transit routes in service to the necessity and convenience of all residents of the city of Las Vegas. I request an accurate and complete copy of the hereto pertinent public mass transit service routes prior to official action on the subject item. Also, upon establishment of the Fremont Street Experience as a pedestrian mall and public park, it was provided that funds matching the total amount of admission fees to the pedestrian mall will be designated to serve the homeless. Therefore, once the total amount of admission fees paid to the Fremont Street Experience on New Year's Eve, and what's the total amount of matching funds dedicated to serve the needs of homeless persons? And if none, why not? Thank you.
Did you have any response to that?
Not at all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Does anyone else wish to be heard? Hearing none, do you have a motion, Councilman?
I do, Councilwoman, on bill number 2006-70, move to refer to council with a due passage.
With the First Amendment.
With the amendments.
As amended, yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. We'll move on to the next item 4. Bill number 2006-71 adopts provisions regarding the use of public streets for motorized racing events, sponsored by Councilman Gary Reese and Councilman Lawrence Weekly.
I will present this, although there may be others here from staff who would like to say something. But this bill is designed to implement the agreement that the council approved to allow the Grand Prix event. There was some level of discomfort on the part of the event sponsor and promoter that certain ordinances might be violated by allowing the event, and so we have set forth a process for obtaining a permit and indicated which of the ordinances relating to traffic and fire and other things would be deemed suspended in accordance with the permit that's issued, and this gives them a level of comfort and would recommend approval.
Does anybody else wish to be heard on this item?
Tom McGowan, Las Vegas resident. Again, in preface, Is it reasonable to assume that there will be qualifying days prior to and inclusive of the days of the event? Qualifying days for the racing event.
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Duly
Councilman.
noted. I request an accurate, complete copy of the Public Mass Transit Impact Report and the Public Safety Impact Report pertinent to the motorized racing events, inclusive of qualifying days, prior to official action on the hearing subject item. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're good, Council.
My understanding is there may be some qualifying. I don't know to the extent that it would go. Is that your understanding also?
Yeah, and since you mentioned that, there's actually going to be, this will be one of the greatest events the downtown has seen in many, many years. Many residents are looking forward to seeing this take place downtown, the Champ Car race, the first race of the season for the Champ Car Series. And Mr. McGowan, there will be a lot of events, many events that will be probably very accessible to the public in general without fees. In regards to qualifying, qualifying is necessary in any race. In regards to the impact and the other items you requested, I'm at a loss. But it's going to be awesome, and I'm looking forward to it.
Fully understandable, and thank you for that clarification, Mr. Councilman. Clearly, this is the initial event of its type, and all the more reason why there should be an impact report as to public safety and access to public mass transit. Nobody's tried it before downtown. If you think these streets are qualified already, then perhaps we could do a lot of other things too. But there was a time when the Flag Elba tried to land on the Fremont Street. They almost made it, not quite, not all of them. And that was their first, I think, last time. And therefore, I too would like to see this be a successful event, as well as one among many similar, even greater events in the city of Las Vegas. And my question does not apply just to me, but to all residents of the city of Las Vegas, including, without limitation, everybody, including you. Thank you.
Mr. Councilman, do you wish to make a motion?
I do, Councilwoman. Thank you very much. On agenda item 4, bill number 2006-71, move to refer to council with a due pass.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion passes. We'll move on to item number 5. Bill number 2006-72 adopts the 2005 edition of the National Electrical Code, together with amendments and supplementary material, proposed by Paul K. Wilkins, Director of Building and Safety.
Good afternoon, Paul Wilkins, Council Lady Tarkanian, Councilman Ross. We worked on some of the remainder of these bills, in fact, all the remainder of these bills several months, but industry, and on this first one, it would be my recommendation to go ahead and accept this for approval.
Thank you. Is there anybody in the audience who wishes to make a comment? Yes, sir.
Hello, my name is Rocco Prock. I'm a master electrician for Efficient Electric. I'm one of the industry individuals who participated on several of these councils, and we are in favor of the amendments and the adoption of the codes. Thank you.
It sounds as if you're trying to keep the standards high.
Yes, ma'am.
Tom McGowan, Las Vegas resident. Purely as a matter of interest to the public record, this assembly is a public meeting. The Pope grants an audience. The Nabob of Hyderabad grants an audience. We're not an audience, we are the public. And we would appreciate being so referred to. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment. Did you want to make an additional remark?
Yes, I wanted to recommend an amendment to this bill. In Section 4 of the bill as introduced, there is a change to the document known as the Southern Nevada Amendments. It has been agreed that the change represented by Section 4 will be incorporated into the amendments themselves. And so what you see there will be transferred by this amendment, if you recommend it, into the document at the back of the bill instead of being in the text. And that way it will be consistent with all the other jurisdictions. And so we recommend that to be a First Amendment.
Any other comments? I would like to state that the use of the term audience was a descriptive term pertaining to those who were present, and the public can be an audience, as well as an audience can be a public. Thank you. Did you wish to make a motion, Mr. Councilman?
Just want to clarify that, being a master electrician myself, I don't need to excuse myself from voting on this item, do I?
Not if you're not in any different position than any other electrician.
I'm not. I'm certainly not. With that, Councilman, I would, on agenda item 5, bill number 206-72, refer to council with a due pass. That's my motion. As amended.
As amended. All in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. We'll move to the next item, number 6, which is
These are all yours.
Bill number 2006-73 adopts the 2006 edition of the Southern Nevada Pool Code, proposed by Paul K. Wilkins, Director of Building and Safety.
Thank you very much. My comments, as before, stand on the record of the pool code, and I'd like to mention that all of these are going to be adopted by all the entities in Southern Nevada that we work together. I think I didn't bring that up in the first comment.
Well, that was good. You all worked on these committee meetings that studied it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Is there anybody who wishes to make a comment?
And Mr. Wilkins, if I may, Councilwoman, this brings us in line with all the other jurisdictions, so we're not just dealing with these codes specifically in the city of Henderson or Clark County or North Las Vegas. This is a county-wide, essentially, ordinance that all of the entities have gotten together and come up with, so we're on a level playing field throughout every jurisdiction. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And I knew that. I just want to clarify that for the public. So thank you very much. With that, Councilman, agenda item number 6, bill number 2006-73, move to refer to council with a due pass.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. We'll now move to item number 7, bill number 2006-74, adopts the 2006 edition of the Uniform Mechanical Code, together with amendments thereto, as the city's mechanical code, proposed by Paul K. Wilkins, Director of Building and Safety.
Same comments as before.
Does anybody wish to make a comment?
My name is Blake Ballard. I am part owner and general manager of Sahara Air Conditioning and Heating, and also president of the SNARSCO organization, Southern Nevada Air Conditioning and Refrigeration Service Contractors. And we'd like to say that some of our members have been on this committee, and we support the proposed changes in the amendments.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to comment? Councilman, do you have a motion?
I do, Councilwoman. If I may make a comment first, Mr. Wilkins, obviously that it's just not the authorities having jurisdiction that have been part of this. It's been the industry as well, from electrical to mechanical to plumbing. I'm sure all of them have participated, and I wish to express my appreciation to the industries plurally for getting together to make this happen. So we appreciate that. Bill number 7, bill number 2007-74. Councilwoman, I move to refer to council with a due pass.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. We'll move to item number 8, and I also would like to express my appreciation for all those individuals in the industry as well as staff spending so much time on this.
Thank you.
Item number 8, bill number 2006-75, adopts the 2006 edition of the Uniform Plumbing Code, together with amendments thereto, as the city's plumbing code, proposed by Paul K. Wilkins, Director of Building and Safety.
Same comments.
Same comments. Anybody from the audience wishing to make a comment?
My name is Joe Casaro. I represent AA Casaro Plumbing. I'm also a representative of PHCC of Southern Nevada, which is a plumbing, heating, cooling contractors association. We hope that you approve the amendments of the code as written. Thank you.
And our thank yous to you also for the time you spent helping. Mr. Councilman?
Thank you, Councilwoman. Are all of you coming to the council meeting tomorrow?
Time is it?
Actually, it won't be for another couple of
It won't be for a couple of weeks, all right. With that, Councilwoman, agenda item 8, bill number 2006-75, move to refer to council with a due pass also.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. Moving to agenda item number 9, bill number 2006-76, adopts the 2006 edition of the International Energy Conservation Code, along with amendments thereto, proposed by Paul K. Wilkins, Director of Building and Safety.
I might add on this is very important as far as energy conservation. I know also we have a bill coming up later on with basically wind management and energy savings there. So we appreciate everybody involved in this energy conservation code too.
Good direction. Are there any comments from the individuals present?
Hi, I'm Rocco Prock again, Master Electrician for Efficient Electric. I should expand upon my credentials a little. I'm a member of the NFPA, a member of the ICC local chapter, and the IAEI as well. And I had an opportunity to sit on this committee, and we spent a great deal of time, both industry and all of the AHJs together, working on this. It took us quite a while to hammer this thing into the shape that it is, and we would like to see it passed. Thank you.
Any other comments? Mr. Councilman.
Agenda item number 9, Councilwoman, bill number 2006-2-76. Move to refer to council with a due pass.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion carries. Moving to item number 10, bill number 2006-77, adopts the 2006 editions of the International Building Code and the International Residential Code, together with amendments thereto, proposed by Paul K. Wilkins, Director of Building and Safety.
We took a pledge 3 years ago, we adopt these on a 3-year cycle to never to adopt any building codes, plumbing, mechanical, electrical, or any other code that involves the building department unless we have industry involved. And so, again, I want to thank everyone, and this reflects, this is probably the largest code of them all with a lot of work on it. So, thanks to everybody for that too.
Do you have any comments?
John Wardwitz, Vice President of Construction for Pulte Homes. We want to thank the building official for our involvement in the industry, sitting on the committees, and also adopting all the codes at the same time with all the municipalities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments?
Rocco Prock and Efficient Electric again. And yes, I've sat on all of these committees. And again, we would like to see them passed. We spent a great deal of time and effort in getting them ironed out. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes.
We have a proposed amendment on this bill also. Just a couple of minor things. In the Southern Nevada amendments to the International Building Code on page 6, and you don't need to look it up, there's just a typo on one of the headings, and so we would correct the reference to the section number on that one. And also, the second attachment are the Southern Nevada amendments to the International Residential Code. On page 6 also of that document, there was a table that was proposed to be amended, and as it turns out, the table as adopted in the International Residential Code itself is going to suffice, so we will simply remove the change to that table, and the rest of the document will be the same. Recommend that as a first amendment.
Thank you. Mr. McGowan?
Tom McGowan, Las Vegas resident. This process today regarding these particular items is an excellent example of the value of public and private sector participation in the democratic process. It allows you, the committee, to be more fully informed as to the sense or the mood of the public and private sectors regarding your work effort. I commend you for that process because it is a step forward at a crucial time when it's needed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Councilman?
Thank you, Councilwoman. On agenda item number 10, bill number 2006-77, I would move to refer to council with a due pass as amended, or with amendments.
Amendments. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Moving to item number 11, bill number 2006-78, updates the city's administrative code relating to the administration of the various building and technical codes, proposed by Paul K. Wilkins, Director of Building and Safety.
And this bill wraps things up in the administrative code as far as powers that we have and certain issues as far as that goes.
Mr. McGowan?
Tom McGowan, Las Vegas resident. Codes, compliance, enforcement is key and crucial. And I should say that respective of items 5 through 11 taken together, codes compliance enforcement is key and crucial to administration in the best public interest. But historically, compliance enforcement has been demands-driven, hence post-critically reactive, and thereas selectively preferential or otherwise lax or remiss in notable instances. What provision will be made to ensure proactive monitoring and enforcement of codes compliance citywide, and if none, why not? Thank you.
Did you have a reply?
So he might be referring to other codes, but as far as the building department is concerned, we have certainly been aggressive in making sure that the codes are complied with. I think we've had some
Right, we
dealings
have.
along those lines, and
I can affirm what he's saying there, right?
and I could, if the people that are here representing various contracting associations and also individual contractors would probably tell you that the city of Las Vegas is one of the most stringent and fair building departments in the valley, and so we have a reputation for that, and we can and plan to continue to carry out doing that.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience?
Rocco Crockett, Fish and Electric. I'd like to add to that not only stringent, but proactive. There are a lot of cases where members of Paul's staff and Earl's staff have come to us and said, hey, what about this? We look into it, we work it out, we come up with something that goes forward, something that maybe we all may have missed, despite the fact that it is in code. So I agree that we're already handling those conditions. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Councilman?
With that, Councilwoman, on agenda item 11, bill number 2006-78, I would move to refer to council with a due pass.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. We move to item number 12. Bill number 2006-79 allows small wind energy systems as a conditional use in the RA, RE, and RD zoning districts, sponsored by the esteemed Councilman Stephen D. Ross. Did you want to make a comment?
I guess I'll present it
We'll see.
if planning is not here.
Let's see what Val doesn't leave it and put it in.
This bill is a result of legislation that was passed the last session in Carson City. It originally started out as a bill to mandate permitting wind energy systems and residential uses, and after input from the various local governments that had to do with making sure standards were met, the bill ended up allowing the local governments to decide basically how they would address the permitting of small wind energy systems. And so this bill sets forth the Las Vegas approach, which is to allow them as a conditional use in the RA, RE, and RD zoning districts with some minimum standards, and we recommend approval.
Anybody in the audience wish to make a comment?
Thomas Allen, Las Vegas resident. How does the subject bill apply to green buildings? And if it does, how many green buildings are current or projected in the city of Las Vegas? Thank you.
This is for residential uses only, Mr. McGowan, on parcels that are 2 acres or larger. This doesn't allow any type of wind generation system. They have to be specific. Our planning department worked very closely to put this together in regards to how the city of Las Vegas wanted to see this fit into its structure. I can't answer your questions about how many green buildings are on the plans or that are being worked on right now, or how many are in the future. I can tell you this, that this city is also being proactive, not only in our approach with the industry, our approach with the building department, and keeping our building standards to the highest, but we're also moving in the direction of that green energy, of doing everything we can as a government to save money and at the same time save our environment.
Thank you very much for that clarification, Mr. Councilman.
You bet.
Thank you.
Mr. Councilman, do you have a motion?
I do, Councilwoman. Thank you. On on agenda item number 12, bill number 2006-79, I would move to refer to council with a due pass.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. Moving to item number 13, bill number Fremont Street Maintenance District, Las Vegas Boulevard to 8th Street, sponsored by step requirement.
Who's that?
I guess,
I've been called a lot of things,
well,
but not a step requirement.
how did they get there? How did they get there, step requirement? I've not seen it before.
What it's referring to is that there is in the law.
Certain steps you have to
incremental steps,
take,
and-
yeah.
And that's one of them.
So you don't mind that it was there instead of your name?
It all pays the same.
Okay.
Earlier, City Council last year approved the pedestrian improvements on Fremont Street from Las Vegas Boulevard to 8th Street. And part of that SID, which was 1506, is this 1516, which provides for the maintenance of those improvements when completed. At your last council meeting, there was the introduction and the first reading. We'll have the second reading tomorrow, and then on the 17th, we'll have the adoption of the ordinance before City Council. Next week, I believe Tuesday, we'll have the start of construction on that project. Everything is in order for your approval.
Comments from the public?
Tom McGowan, Las Vegas resident. I request a complete list of the verbiage text medallions that will be placed in the pedestrian sidewalk in Fremont East as elemental to the hearing subject bill prior to official action on the bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
I do too.
Want a complete list?
Yeah, I don't think there's one yet.
If one exists.
Yeah, one exists.
I don't think it's in existence yet because they weren't quite sure where they were going to put them. You mean when it's available, you would like a copy?
All of your remarks in response to public query are duly noted. Thank you very much. My understanding is there is no such medallions in existence to date. On the other hand, there's a member of this audience who is personally involved in that exact project. His name is Stephen Van Gorp, Office of Business Development. Feel free to call upon him if you choose. Thank you.
Do you want to call upon him? Here he is right here.
We have a drawing that shows the medallions. The OPD was instrumental in collaborating with the property owners and the project designers to come up with some historical medallions that would be placed at various locations through the pedestrian improvements. Steve, you want to speak to that?
Sure. For the record, Steve Van Gorp, Redevelopment Manager, Office of Business Development. The selection of the medallions is complete. The construction set is ready to go because we are complete with bid and ready to start construction. So the medallions have been selected. We went through a public process with the Owners Association and with city staff to select the medallions. A long process, actually, whittling down the list of trying to select what text are on the medallion. So we'd be glad to provide that to you, council persons. And Mr. McGowan, I have one set here today, which is in the construction set of what the text is for the medallions. I only have one set here today, so we'll have to fight over who gets a copy of it. But I'd be glad to provide that to your office. I could give this to Mr. McGowan today and send a set up to your office if you'd like.
I think that would be good to give one to Mr. McGowan today and send a set to our
copies
office.
up to your offices if you like.
And I've got a copy of that already, Councilman. I just didn't, my question was, Councilman, if you don't mind, is that the list? Those are the medallions that'll be used?
Yes, sir, that's correct. These are the ones that we've selected. We work with the owners. The Owners Association ultimately appointed a subcommittee who worked with staff. We worked with representatives from the Historical Society, from the from planning staff, and from our staff. We work with several outside sources to try to identify appropriate text. They identify, the plaques that have been selected identify historical events that took place downtown. We work with our design consultants as well, who pitched ideas for what the plaques could say. And so what I present to you today are the plaques that were selected that the owners ultimately chose for the text of the sidewalk. So between the owners and city staff, these are the ones that were selected.
And Councilman, if I may again, Mr. Van Gorp, you answered my second question as to how those names were chosen.
Yes, sir.
I just want to be assured that we did get public input in regards to that. It sounds like you went to the historic folks in regards to their input. So you went to many resources to get input in regards to how those names were chosen. Is
Yes,
that
sir.
correct?
We worked in public meetings through the Historic Preservation Commission. We worked through the Fremont East Owners Association to get their blessing, and through the Historic Preservation Commission to get their blessing. We asked them to sign off on it, and through the Owners Association to get them to sign off on it. So in both public forums.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for this brief footnote. The meetings of the property owners, so-called public meetings, or private meetings, public excluded. They were held on the second floor meeting rooms of the El Cortez Hotel, with including the Property Owners Association and city staff, including representatives of the Office of the City Attorney, who can attest to the fact that the meetings were not open public meetings. As far as the Historical Preservation Society, yes, OBD did make a presentation to the Historical Preservation Commission. However, for some reason unknown to date, it could be explained possibly by staff, the names of persons who appeared historically at the El Cortez Hotel as entertainers were not included on that list, to the best of my knowledge and current information. The reason I say that is because I was one of those entertainers. 4 of them that I can name are Don McGowan, Sigrid Macy, John Hayden, and Richard Green. We appeared in the lounge of the El Cortez Hotel, right adjacent to the casino. I'm sure staff's research which apparently was well resourced, would be able to provide you with concordance with my statements. Now, whether my name's included or not is beside the point. But we're talking about a public-funded improvement of the city, a district of the city known as Fremont East, in a redevelopment area. It is the city's redevelopment area, not the property owner's redevelopment area. The people of this city entirely, inclusively, are the owners of redevelopment and the improvements in that area. In fact, in all redevelopment areas. I appreciate your indulgence. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman, if I allow one more question to our Public Works Director, Mr. Kikowski. Am I to understand that this is a special improvement district and that the property owners will be billed in 4 quarterly installments and share the burden of this construction? Of the maintenance. With the actual construction?
The construction, in round numbers, the total construction cost is about $5.2 million, and I believe it's just under $2 million thereabouts that the cost to the property owner. So it's partly an assessment on the property owners. There's city funds involved, and there's also some federal enhancement monies involved.
And this just isn't relating to medallions in the sidewalk. I mean, this is a full-blown beautification project.
From building face to building face, from Las Vegas Boulevard to 8th Street.
Welcomed change to the downtown face. Mr. Ringorp, thank you very much for your input. Thank you, Councilman.
It will be very distinctive. Thank you. Any other comments? Making a motion, Mr. Councilman?
Yes, Councilman. On agenda item number 13, bill number 2006-80, I would move to refer to council with a due pass.
All in favor say aye. Aye. The motion carries. Moving to item number 14, bill number 2006-81, grants to Nevada Power Company. Oh, and excuse me, let me interrupt a second. You're giving that to Mr. McGowan. Thank you. Grants to Nevada Power Company, a Nevada corporation, a non-exclusive franchise to install, operate, and maintain an electrical distribution system to provide electrical service to consumers within the city, subject to, in accordance with the terms and conditions of the franchise agreement between the city and Nevada Power Company. Proposed by Mark R. Vincent, Director of Finance and Business Services. Do we have someone from staff to, oh, there you are.
I thought they were already doing that.
What happens when you put on a suit and show up?
Yeah, sorry.
Council members, Chris Ware, franchise officer. I didn't prepare a lot today, but I can give you a real quick background and just some of the highlights of what are contained in the proposed agreement. Just historically, this is really the first time we've renegotiated the franchise agreement with Nevada Power since 1979. They had a 25-year franchise, which was extended briefly in 2004. So we're updating that. The term of the new agreement is going to be 18 years, and that may sound a little odd, but the reason for that is we wanted to try to keep it coterminous with the recently granted franchise in the county, so that someday our successors, if they would choose to do so jointly, could negotiate with the county, with Nevada Power, and they come up for renewal. The franchise fees will remain at in essence, the same 5% of gross revenue that we're now getting. Just for your knowledge, that's about $24 million, I believe, in the last fiscal year. We have clarified and tried to add just more detail to the definition of gross revenue, but there really hasn't been any problems historically with Nevada Power paying the franchise fees. The franchise agreement grants Nevada Power non-exclusive rights, so we do reserve the rights for the city or any other entity in the future to provide electric service if state of affairs changes. The agreement requires the same type of permitting and restoration of the right-of-way as the present franchise does. So they do have to pull permits. They do have to take care of things if they mess them up. The agreement has new provisions which are totally new to this agreement from the old one concerning the Americans with Disabilities Act or the ADA. It doesn't come up a lot, but there are times when you get ADA issues arise because of poles in the middle of sidewalks or something. And this agreement will actually require Nevada Power to spend up to $100,000 a year for remedial work to take care of their ADA problems that result from those type of problems. This agreement also will contain more specific and newer provisions detailing the parties' rights concerning the use of the city's poles by Nevada Power. There have been instances in the past and existing today when Nevada Power has made attachments to our poles. Frankly, those arrangements have not been particularly well documented, and as a part of this agreement, Nevada Power has agreed to enter into a more specific written agreement concerning those attachments and give us a list of where those attachments are, and if they don't want to do that, then they need to get rid of their attachments, but we want to have it more spelled out in the future. The agreement also provides new provisions concerning third-party attachments to Nevada Power's poles. These are things like Embark or Cox or somebody else who may attach. Again, there have just been a few instances in the past where there's been some confusion or some problems. We hope that the new provisions, they're a little more detailed. They will prevent a few of the problems we've seen in the past. There's also new provisions in this agreement that deal more specifically with the city's use of Nevada Power's poles. I should say those really aren't so much new provisions. They will continue the city's right in general to use Nevada Power's poles for non-commercial purposes. That would be lights and communications equipment. And subject to a reasonableness test, which in our view would generally be safety oriented. The agreement provides some new relocation provisions, which again are just based on historical problems or issues that have arisen. And so with the help, I'm not sure if he's still here, with Charlie's help and other people's help, we've tried to be more specific about what happens in relocation situations where, because a road is expanding or for whatever reason a pole needs to be relocated. We're hoping that those provisions will make things operate even more smoothly than they have in the past. The liquidated damages provisions in this agreement are updated. The present provisions, of course, were written in 1979. They cover a very limited scope of breach of contract, and they're also at $100 a day, which isn't very much when you consider all the inflation adjustments since 1979. So we've now broadened the liquidated damages provisions so that they are either $500 a day or $250 a day, and they in essence cover any type of material violations by Nevada Power if it does not correct those violations. It also gives Nevada Power some specified procedural rights to take care of those things. And I don't want to imply somehow that we've had a myriad of problems. I'm not sure the city's ever assessed any liquidated damages, but it's there in case we need them in the future as an enforcement tool. The agreement will continue standard indemnification clauses. It will continue but increase standard insurance requirements and amounts. It will continue the $500,000 performance bond that Nevada Power posts. It will have a more specific auditing provision in it. Again, we haven't specifically audited Nevada Power for some time, but it sets forth more details, more procedures, hopefully to make things sail smoothly if and when we do such audits. And finally, there's a provision in there about conservation where Nevada Power agrees to work with the city in reaching greater energy efficiency, including supporting the green building program, and that's new to our agreement this time around. I hope that gives you a good overview of the agreement. A lot of it is kind of the daily nuts and bolts stuff is no different from the previous agreement, but that's what we're trying to do with this one. Thank you.
You were very prepared.
I would say so. Yes, excuse me.
I just wanted to add one thing. Unlike most of your agenda items and agreements that the council approves, the granting of a franchise has an independent public hearing associated with it. So the more formal setting in which you would hear public comment would be at that public hearing. That's not to say you can't listen to all the public comment you want to today, but this is not a substitute for the public hearing that will be held on the granting of the franchise, which I think is the 17th. Is that right?
I believe that's so.
So theoretically, you could have had the public hearing first and then would follow up with an ordinance, but the desire on the part of the Finance and Business Services was to have them go concurrent. So just wanted you to know that there will be a formal independent public hearing on this item.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. McGowan?
Tom McGowan, Las Vegas resident, hearing the opportunity to voice a related comment. It's probable, maybe unlikely, but probable in my perception, that you can never get enough informed public comment. Example, one question of the presenter through the chair. Will the referenced audit be internal or independently conducted? If so, by whom? Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? That was a good presentation. Thank you.
Did you want a response, Councilman?
If you would, it would be nice.
Well, at the present time, and keep in mind, I'm not an auditor, I don't think there's a specific audit planned at this time. It's simply the prior agreement really didn't have anything in it concerning audits. And so we've tried to incorporate some up-to-date language, probably dating back to the last talks agreement that has much better, more specific auditing provisions in it to take care of those situations when we do audits. And the only other thing I should have added, I don't mean to prolong this, but we do have Edgar Patino from Nevada Power in the audience if the council members have any questions they would like to direct to Nevada Power. And I'd just like to say personally that Edgar and Nevada Power staff, attorneys, have been very professional and cordial throughout our dealings, and I appreciate their working with us.
Bless you.
Edgar Patino, Nevada Power Company. He did a wonderful job recapping everything that occurred during the negotiations. We covered a lot of ground that I think was very, in the end, got us a document that's going to benefit the city, benefit Nevada Power, your residents, and also our customers. And I'm very happy with the agreement and seek your approval. And if you have any questions, I can take those in.
And it was kind of you to brief us too before this meeting today. Thank you.
Tom McCown with a brief footnote. Thank you for that excellent clarification, Madam Chair, through both speakers. I recommend approval of the item as duly noted. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Councilman, do you have a
I do,
motion?
Councilwoman. Thank you very much. On agenda item 14, bill number 2006-81, I would move to refer to council with a due pass.
All in favor? Aye. The motion carries. We now move to our citizens' participation. Does anyone wish to be heard under this portion of the agenda?
I'll defer to any other speaker who wishes to speak first.
Well, you're there, so you go ahead and
My name
speak.
is Tom McGowan, Las Vegas resident, and candidate for election to public office as mayor of the city of Las Vegas, Nevada. As mayor, I'll ensure all matters that come before the recommending committee include all relevant information requisite to ensure responsible decision-making by the committee pursuant to advisory recommendations of action by the City Council in the genuine best public interest, inclusively. I thank you for your time and interest. Written text of my public comment is submitted and requested inclusion in the meeting minutes in accordance with NRS 241, the Nevada Open Meeting Law. I'll bring this to you.
Thank you. Any other citizen wishing to participate? Well, then I think the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.